Hello, welcome to the Good Morning Seniors YouTube channel. Today's podcast topic name is 6 Small Ways to Bring Back the Happiness, Energy, and Fun. So, if you're anything like me lately, you might be feeling that maybe that inner spark has dimmed just a little bit. Maybe the days have started blending together. The routine feels like an endless grind. And that genuine energy for just fun, it feels kind of elusive.
It really does.
You're definitely not alone if you're feeling stuck in that cycle of just blah.
No, absolutely not. And that feeling, that sort of low hum of fatigue or just general listlessness, it doesn't actually need some huge catastrophic event or some dramatic life change to fix it.
Right.
So today, our mission is exactly that. We're going to take a deep dive into material that gives us a clear, practical shortcut to reigniting that inner glow.
A shortcut, I like that.
Yeah, we're looking at behavioral science and real-world results to show that you don't need a massive life overhaul or, some expensive wellness retreat.
Well,
we're distilling 6 simple, consistent changes that if you adopt them for just 1 week, are actually shown scientifically to deliver the biggest possible punch for happiness, energy, and, revival.
I love that framing. A practical shortcut to feeling vibrant again. So today we are analyzing these strategies presented as a 1-week motivational experiment, focused on these 6 small ways to bring back that zest for life. And the promise here feels huge, especially considering how minimal the actions seem.
They really are minimal. These methods are specifically designed so you can just slide them into your existing daily routine without causing more burnout or stress.
That's key. No added stress.
Right. And they are all rigorously backed by, decades of research in psychology and neuroscience. And importantly, they're inspired by success stories. Real people across the USA who started with these tiny little tweaks and saw incredible transformations.
In their outlook, their stamina.
Yeah, and their overall joy. So think of this deep dive as your sort of custom-built guide to starting that revival, maybe even today.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting with the very first habit, which sounds like it focuses entirely on shifting your mental gears, like building a protective shield before the day really even gets going. Okay, habit number 1, starting the day with a gratitude practice. We're talking about kicking off your morning by intentionally, noting what you're thankful for. It sounds almost, laughably simple, doesn't it? How can a 5-minute journaling thing boost your energy for, say, a bike ride later? But the neurochemical effects you're saying are profound.
They really are. The mechanism here is just a beautiful example of directed neuroplasticity. Gratitude actively trains and actually rewires your brain.
Rewires it? How?
Well, most of us, kind of by default, have this negativity bias.
Right.
Our brains are sort of hardwired to scan for threats, for problems, for what's missing.
Right. The bad stuff stands out.
Exactly. Gratitude forces a cognitive shift away from that default setting. It redirects your focus to what is abundant and working right now. And when you intentionally shift your perspective like that, you trigger the release of crucial neurotransmitters, feel-good chemicals.
Tell us more about those specific chemicals. We often hear dopamine and serotonin thrown around together, but how do they function, specifically when we practice gratitude?
That's a great distinction to make. So dopamine is essentially your reward chemical. When you recall something wonderful, even something small like, the taste of your coffee this morning or a kind word someone said, your brain goes, oh, that felt good. Let's seek more of that.
So it drives motivation.
Precisely. It creates a positive feedback loop, directly driving motivation and energy. Serotonin, on the other hand, that provides more like stability and well-being.
Okay.
By focusing on reliable positives, you kind of dampen the noise of daily anxiety. You essentially lower your overall emotional baseline from, say, anxious down to content.
And crucially, that dampening of anxiety links directly back to energy, right?
Yeah.
I know our sources highlighted how much mental energy stress just eats up.
Oh, absolutely. Think about the energy implication in terms of stress hormones. When you're ruminating or worrying, your body's pumping out cortisol.
The stress hormone.
Yeah, and cortisol is exhausting.
Yeah.
Keeps you on high alert, tying up vast amounts of cognitive energy. So by introducing a consistent gratitude practice, you actually reduce the presence of cortisol.
Which frees up that mental energy.
Exactly. That liberated energy becomes available for alertness, for focus, and maybe most importantly for our chat today, for pursuing fun and engaging activities.
And the statistics supporting this shift are pretty remarkable. Regularly noting gratitudes is reported to increase overall life satisfaction by 25%.
25%.
That's huge. That's not just a mood lift. It's like adding a full day of good mood stability to your week just from a 5-minute daily exercise. And the physical health perks are linked too. You mentioned lower chronic inflammation, better heart health, giving you the physical stamina you need as well.
Right. So, okay, let's talk implementation, because this is often where people either succeed or, well, fall off. The key is the 5-minute rule, just jotting down maybe 3 to 5 things daily.
Right.
But here's the crucial detail the research really insists upon. You have to be specific.
Specificity.
Yeah.
Why is that so effective? Why can't I just write down my job or my health? Seems easier.
It seems easier, but the brain is an experiential machine, right? When you write something vague like, I'm thankful for my family, you're just labeling a category. It's abstract.
Okay.
But when you write, I'm grateful for my granddaughter's infectious laugh on our video call yesterday afternoon, you force your brain to retrieve and actually re-savor that specific memory.
Re-savor it.
Yeah. That memory retrieval process activates the same reward pathways the original event did. It makes the positive feeling much stronger, more durable. It stops the practice from just becoming, another checkbox on your to-do list.
That makes sense. The 5-minute rule sounds great, but honestly, I hear from people, myself included sometimes, that the biggest hurdle is just starting or getting back on the horse if you miss a day.
Yeah.
Like if you miss Tuesday morning, what's the psychological trick to overcome that little bit of shame and just jump back in immediately on Wednesday?
That's where motivational tactics are key. And the sources really emphasize forgiveness as the ultimate tool here.
Forgiveness.
Yeah. If you slip, don't see it as a failure. See it as just a momentary lapse in what is otherwise a consistent effort. The goal is consistency over perfection.
Right.
Another key trick is something called habit stacking. Pair the gratitude practice with an already established, maybe cozy ritual like having your first cup of coffee or your favorite tea.
Link it to something you already do.
Exactly. The established habit acts as the cue for the new habit, makes it almost automatic.
That blending is smart. And if you get stuck on what to write, which happens, right? Sometimes life feels monotonous. What kind of prompts should we use then?
Yeah, good question. Use prompts that focus on emotion, not just stuff.
Right.
Ask yourself, what made me genuinely smile yesterday?
Right.
Or what small relief did I experience today?
Okay.
One popular approach is called the 3 Ps. One positive person in your life, one positive possession, maybe something functional like a warm coat on a cold day, and one positive phenomenon like a sound, a sight, a quiet moment you enjoyed.
Person, possession, phenomenon. I like that. Simple framework. And we really see the genuine power of this in the anecdotes you mentioned. Like Terry Irvin, 64, from Dallas, Texas. She renewed her practice during a bout of low-grade depression.
Right.
Started listing 3 specific things daily, her coffee, a kind interaction. Within weeks, that mental energy drain from just ruminating, it decreased so dramatically, her whole outlook shifted.
Oh, wow.
She reported feeling much more energized, which then allowed her to get back into daily walks, re-engage with old friends for, fun lunches. Her ability to seek out fun came back because her mental resources were freed up.
That's a perfect example. And if we travel west, consider the 70-year-old retiree in San Francisco. She focused on small, specific wins in her journal, a sunny day, finally getting into a good book.
Little things.
Tiny things. But she found her overall energy just surged dramatically. That physical and mental availability led her to join a local hiking club. I mean, that's a tangible transformation, right? Turning a static daily routine into an adventure filled with nature and fun.
Definitely. And similarly, on the East Coast, there's the example of a 62-year-old New Yorker, adopted daily gratitude after a health scare. His daily notes on specific positives, a friend's successful recovery, a particularly tasty meal, boosted his sustained energy so much that he was doing fun stuff he'd neglected, like weekend bike rides. He actually called it restoring his zest for life.
Zest for life. That's what we're after.
So gratitude seems like the perfect small way to really establish that mental readiness for revival.
It absolutely creates the mental space. Now, let's take that space and leverage it, moving from the purely mental realm into the physical. Because physical movement is often the fastest, most accessible route to an energy infusion.
Okay, the second habit. This one sounds incredibly approachable. Take a 10-minute walk outside daily. Just 10 minutes. It almost seems too short to really matter, but the sources frame this as a powerhouse for boosting energy and happiness.
It is a powerhouse precisely because it's a multifaceted solution. In just 10 minutes, you're actually getting 3 separate energy boosts happening at the same time.
3 boosts. Okay, what are they?
Well, first, the movement itself. That releases endorphins, your brain's natural pain and stress fighters. That improves circulation and combats that feeling of sluggish fatigue almost instantly.
Endorphins, right.
Second, the gentle cardio energizes your muscles, gets the blood flowing. Third, and this is critical, the natural light exposure signals your brain.
Okay, let's focus on that light exposure piece.
Sure.
How does just 10 minutes of light, maybe even on a cloudy day, contribute to energy revival?
It's fundamental. When natural light hits your retina, even diffuse light on a cloudy day, it signals your brain to suppress the production of melatonin.
Sleep hormone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it resets your circadian rhythm, basically confirming to your body, hey, it's daytime, wake up. This is probably the fastest way to fight morning grogginess or that dreaded midday fatigue.
So it's like a physiological reset button.
Precisely. It lifts spirits, sharpens focus, and leads to a much higher capacity for fun later in the day because you're not fighting sleepiness.
And the numbers back this up too, right? For mood enhancement alone, that endorphin release is shown to reduce anxiety and increase happiness by, 20 to 30%?
Yeah, a huge return.
That's an amazing return on just a 10-minute time investment. Incredible.
And the long-term benefits are foundational for sustained energy over years. Consistent short walks strengthen your heart, your bones, your muscles. And they actively lower cortisol, that stress hormone, giving you greater resilience overall. We saw some striking data from University of Utah research, which noted that participants who consistently incorporated movement, even these short bursts, felt they had a 33% lower mortality risk.
Wow, 33% lower risk.
Yeah. So this habit isn't just about feeling better today. It's really an investment in having active, fun years ahead, making sure you have the physical capability to enjoy life down the road.
So implementation, it requires that core commitment. 10 minutes outside every single day. I imagine the biggest challenge here for many people is facing bad weather. How do we motivate ourselves to actually go out when it's raining or freezing cold?
Yeah, that's the hurdle.
Yeah.
And this is where we need to focus on consistency over the condition. An umbrella, a warm coat, that's really all you need. The research found the physiological benefits of being outdoors, even without direct sun, they still outweigh the comfort of staying cooped up inside.
Okay.
The motivational shift is to try and focus on exploration rather than thinking of it as exercise. Aim to make the walk like a mini adventure of discovery.
Exploration. I like that frame.
Yeah. Notice the sounds, the smells, the subtle changes in your neighborhood you miss when you're rushing or in a car.
That makes it less of a chore. What other tactics help anchor this habit, make it stick?
Well, accountability and entertainment are big ones. Pair the walk with something you enjoy, listen to music, catch up on a fun deep dive like this one.
Right.
Invite a buddy along.
Right.
That adds accountability, and often, shared laughter makes it way more fun.
Definitely.
Changing up your routes, even slightly, combats that routine feeling that can drain energy. And yeah, gamify it. Challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Spot something new on your route every single walk. That little element of novelty, which we'll talk more about later, turns the routine walk into more of a stimulating mission.
We heard about a fascinating adaptation of this from a 65-year-old in Salt Lake City, Utah. Instead of one 10-minute block, she adapted it into 2-minute walks every hour. Just quick loops around her office or home.
Oh, interesting. Micro walks.
Yeah. She described this as her reset button. Said it prevented the buildup of fatigue and turned these mundane internal transitions, like going to the printer, into enjoyable mini-adventures. And apparently, this sustained low-level movement motivated others in her area, too, who reported more sustained energy for their hobbies.
That's brilliant. And look at the urban environment, too. A 62-year-old Manhattan resident found that incorporating those short 10-minute walks into his really busy city schedule wasn't a time sink at all. It was an energy creator.
An energy creator, not a drain.
Right. That renewed vitality actually fueled fun, active nights out, like spontaneous theater trips. It proves that even in a super bustling environment, these short physical breaks create energy for leisure later.
Out on the West Coast, a 68-year-old shared how his commitment to short, regular, multifaceted walks provided not just physical strength, but what he called mental joy.
Mental joy. Love that.
He said it significantly boosted his energy for family activities and just spontaneous fun. The takeaway seems crystal clear. 10 minutes outside is a foundational reset for your energy system.
It absolutely is. Resetting the physical system is vital, but sustained happiness relies just as much on our emotional landscape, doesn't it?
True.
And that brings us beautifully to our third essential habit, which focuses on finding that critical emotional energy through others.
Okay, habit 3, connect with one person daily. And the emphasis here is intensely on the quality of the interaction, not just, counting contacts. This feels like maybe the most immediate and profound injection of happiness available, and it costs nothing but a few minutes of focused attention.
It really is potent. This is why human connection is often called a happiness superfood. When you engage in a high-quality chat, even a short one, your brain releases oxytocin.
Oxytocin, the bonding hormone.
Yeah, famously known as the bonding hormone,
Yeah.
but its function goes deeper. It's a powerful stress buffer. It significantly reduces feelings of loneliness, instantly lifts spirits, and by building trust, it injects genuine fun back into your day. For anyone feeling isolated, or maybe just drained by being inside their own head too much, this small act provides an immediate emotional lift.
How does oxytocin work specifically as a stress buffer, though? Why is connection so fundamental to our ability to cope with just daily pressures?
Well, oxytocin promotes feelings of trust and emotional openness. When you connect meaningfully with someone, you feel safe on a physiological level.
Okay.
That safety signal tells your body to kind of stand down from a stress response. Loneliness, conversely, is perceived by the body almost like a danger state, which keeps those cortisol levels high.
So connection chemically counteracts stress.
Exactly. By activating oxytocin, you chemically counteract cortisol. That's why sharing a burden, even a small worry, genuinely lightens the cognitive load. It frees up crucial mental energy that was previously tied up in worry or isolation. That emotional lift directly translates into renewed physical and mental vigor.
The statistics here are pretty undeniable, too. Studies show that people with robust social ties are roughly 25% happier than those who feel socially disconnected.
25% again. It's a recurring theme.
It really is. And this links to impressive physical health markers, too. Social connection combats depression, helps lower chronic inflammation, which we know underlies so many age-related diseases, and is fundamentally linked to longevity, meaning more healthy, fun years ahead.
Absolutely. So implementation.
Okay.
It needs to be intentional, right?
Yeah.
Commit to a focused 5 to 10 minute interaction daily. This could be a positive phone call, maybe a meaningful text exchange that goes beyond just logistics.
Right, not just need milk.
Exactly. Or meeting up, of course. The focus must be on positive sharing, maybe a little vulnerability, and genuine listening. It's also really beneficial to try and rotate your contacts.
Why rotate?
Well, it avoids potentially burdening one person all the time, and it injects conversational variety, which keeps it fresh and interesting for you too.
Makes sense. Since this habit relies so much on quality, how do we make sure we're fostering genuine, deeper bonds instead of just having a superficial check-in chat?
That's the core of it. The key is vulnerability. Now, vulnerability doesn't mean you have to share your deepest trauma every single day.
Okay, good.
It just means sharing something genuine, something you're excited about, maybe something small you're worried about, or simply asking a deeper question than just, how are you?
Going beyond the surface level.
Exactly. Focusing on a positive development, maybe a small win you had, and sharing that excitement actually amplifies the fun for both people involved.
So for motivational tactics, we need to treat this connection time seriously, like it's important.
Absolutely. Maybe set phone reminders for connection time, almost like it's an appointment with yourself or with that
An
relationship.
appointment for well-being.
Yeah. You can make it fun too. Maybe establish theme days, like Memory Monday, where you intentionally share a positive memory from the past with someone you shared it with.
Oh, I like that. Memory Monday.
Right. And remember, you can combine this with other habits. Make your daily 10-minute walk the time you catch up with a friend on the phone. You double your happiness benefit in a single time slot.
Smart snacking again. The DC area provides a stellar example of this working, right? A 65-year-old from Washington, D.C. added daily positive phone calls to her routine, deliberately focusing on quality sharing. She reported a significant increase in happiness, noting that it turned routine into fun and immediately gave her more energy for planning future outings.
Fantastic. And moving up to Boston, a 62-year-old focused on connecting with diverse people each day, not just his closest circle, but maybe acquaintances or neighbors too.
Broadening the scope.
Yeah. And he found that the sheer variety in conversation and perspective energized my days. He found fun in the unexpectedness of learning something new or hearing a different viewpoint.
And back in California, a 68-year-old actually referred to her daily chats as her happiness hack.
Her happiness hack.
Yeah. By intentionally fostering these quality bonds, she successfully reignited her daily joy and sustained high energy levels. It's such a powerful reminder that emotional fuel is just as crucial as physical fuel.
It really is. It's like the engine lubricant for all the other activities we want to do. Okay, so we've covered the mental space with gratitude, the physical movement, and the social boost from connection. Now we need to talk about fighting off the ultimate enemy of sustained joy: predictability and monotony.
All right, our fourth small way to revive. Try one new thing each day. Now, this one often feels a bit intimidating, I think. But the sources emphasize the novelty doesn't have to be massive, right? It just has to be new to you.
Exactly. Small is key here. And the science behind novelty is where the real excitement comes from, I think. Novelty is the single fastest way to spark a surge of dopamine release in the brain.
Dopamine again, the reward chemical.
Yeah, but it's not just a happy chemical. It's the brain's primary chemical for seeking, for motivation, for reward. When you encounter something new, even something tiny, that dopamine surge tells your brain, hey, pay attention. This is interesting. This might be important.
So that dopamine rush is what actively breaks the cycle of monotony, because monotony makes the brain just go on autopilot, doesn't it?
Precisely. Routine allows the brain to coast, which feels easy in the short term, but eventually leads to low engagement and that sense of stagnation of blah. Novelty forces the brain to wake up, solve a tiny problem, experience a small reward. This revives your natural curiosity and makes life feel more vibrant and engaging again. It literally turns small, ordinary moments into exciting, low-stakes mini adventures.
And beyond just the immediate fun factor, this habit has some serious cognitive benefits too, right? Like every time you try something new, even small, you're building new neural pathways.
Correct. We call it increasing mental flexibility. Challenging the brain with new input, like a new route walking home, a new piece of information from a podcast, a new flavor. It forces the brain to create new connections between neurons.
Like exercise for the brain.
Exactly. This exercise sharpens cognition and contributes significantly to long-term brain health and vitality. Plus, by increasing your comfort level with small, controlled changes, you also build psychological resilience.
Yeah.
Well, when bigger, inevitable life changes happen, you're better equipped to handle them with less stress because you've practiced adapting on a small scale every day.
That's a great point. Okay, the key to implementation then is making sure the novelty stays small enough to be sustainable. This isn't about, trying to learn Mandarin overnight.
Definitely not.
Give us some examples of realistic, small novelty.
Think micro changes. Listening to a new podcast genre you've never touched before. Tasting a new flavor of tea at the supermarket. Intentionally taking a different street on your walk to the mailbox. Trying a new type of coffee bean.
Really small things.
Yeah, the novelty should ideally be achievable in 5 minutes or less. But the most important step, maybe, is the intentional reflection at the end of the day. Just ask yourself, how did that tiny new thing make me feel? Did it spark a little laugh? Did it solve a tiny problem? Acknowledging that win helps lock in the dopamine reward.
Right, reinforcing the positive feeling. To make this stick, though, we need motivational tactics so the search for novelty doesn't just become another chore on the list.
Good point. The best tactic is probably planning ahead and starting tiny. Maybe brainstorm a list of 7 tiny ideas for the week beforehand, 1 for each day.
Takes the pressure off finding something new today.
Exactly. It prevents that daily struggle of, oh gosh, what am I going to do that's new today? You can also use those theme days again to guide your novelty search, like maybe Food Friday means trying a new spice or a simple ingredient you've never cooked with.
Or Activity Wednesday could be trying a new stretch or a simple new type of puzzle online.
Perfect. And as we learned in the last section, sharing the experience with friends adds that connection element, accountability, and usually a lot of laughter, especially when the little experiment goes maybe slightly wrong.
Definitely adds to the fun. We have some excellent examples showing this practice in action too. A 65-year-old from California started trying small new gadgets and software around the house, like a new weather app or figuring out a smart plug. She found that this simple act of mastering something new energized my routine and boosted her sense of fun. It was a tangible way to make just mundane domestic life feel intellectually interesting again.
That's great. And in New York, a 62-year-old tried attending new, short, local community events he would normally just ignore, like a farmer's market he'd never visited before, or a free local history lecture nearby.
Stepping slightly outside the comfort zone.
Yeah, just slightly.
Yeah.
He reported that he saw positive developments from trying, and that the simple act of doing that immediately increased his engagement with the world around him.
And I loved the example from the Midwest. A 68-year-old in Illinois, inspired by historical archives, tried small historical recreations.
Oh, that's unique.
Yeah, like trying an old 19th century recipe or attempting some forgotten craft she read about.
Yeah.
She found that this intentional novelty sparked energy and a really deep sense of joyful discovery. It proves novelty can be found in the past just as much as in the future, right?
What a fantastic idea. That's really creative.
So that's a powerful habit for sparking mental enthusiasm. Now that we've covered the mental spark, the movement spark, the social spark, and the novelty spark, we need to make sure the body has the sustained high-quality fuel to actually carry that energy through the whole day. All right, our fifth habit, this one's purely physiological, but often overlooked, I think, as a happiness hack. Eat a nutritious mid-morning snack. We're talking about stabilizing your internal engine to prevent that notorious midday crash.
Yes, this small habit is fundamentally critical because it directly addresses blood sugar stability. If we skip a mid-morning snack, especially if we had an early breakfast, our blood sugar can dip pretty dramatically around, say, 11 a.m. or noon.
Right, that hanger feeling starts creeping in.
Exactly. And that dip isn't just hunger. It's a physiological crash that manifests as irritability, mental fog, and just a complete loss of energy and motivation. A nutritious addition prevents this. It keeps you alert and focused, fueling both your body and your brain.
Making sure you actually have the stamina for those enjoyable activities you planned for the afternoon.
Precisely. You don't want to cancel fun plans just because you ran out of steam.
So when we talk about nutritious, we're definitely not talking about grabbing a candy bar from the vending machine, right? What specific components should the snack ideally contain to ensure that slow-release, sustained energy?
Right. We want to contrast those fast-acting simple carbs with complex, slow-release fuels. The ideal snack pairs protein and healthy fats. Those help with satiation and slow energy release with fiber, which also aids sustained energy and prevents a big sugar spike and crash.
So the classic example would be?
The classic example is perfect. An apple with a tablespoon of peanut butter or maybe a small handful of walnuts. The fiber from the apple, the protein and fat from the nuts, they keep that blood sugar curve nice and gentle.
Okay. And what about the mood connection? We mentioned serotonin earlier with gratitude. Does nutrition play a direct role in producing those mood chemicals?
It absolutely does. Many of the essential building blocks for key neurotransmitters, including serotonin, come directly from our diet. Things like omega-3 fatty acids, which you find in nuts and seeds, are essential for maintaining the health of neuronal membranes. That's where the communication happens in the brain.
So good fats help brain communication.
Yeah, adequate fuel and the presence of these healthy fats are key to boosting serotonin production and maintaining overall mood stability. It effectively prevents that midday irritability that just saps joy from the afternoon.
The impact seems clear then. Sustained vitality, better focus and cognition, even some immune support. Fundamentally, this habit feels like an enablement tool.
That's a great way to put it.
It ensures you have the consistent energy you need for spontaneous joy and fun, making sure you aren't forced to bail on plans just because you've run out of steam before 3 p.m.
Exactly. Implementation is straightforward, but it does require a little bit of foresight. Choose one specific, nutritious, and satisfying snack daily and aim to have it mid-morning.
And then maybe track the benefit.
Yeah, if you want to really see the difference, just make a quick note of your energy level and mood before and after the snack for the first week. You'll likely see a tangible uplift in mood stability pretty quickly.
Okay, but I can hear a listener asking, I usually eat lunch around noon or 12:30. If I eat a snack at 10:30 a.m., won't I just ruin my appetite for lunch?
That's a really practical and important question. The snack shouldn't be huge, right? It should be satisfying, not stuffing. If you're truly nourishing yourself with protein and fiber, the feeling is more one of stability, not uncomfortable fullness.
Just enough to tide you over.
Exactly. Enough to carry you through to lunch without the headache and the irritability kicking in. To motivate yourself, prepping ahead is key. Portion out your snacks the night before so they are easy grab-and-go options in the morning rush.
And then rotate the choices.
Yes. Rotate options, nuts and fruit one day, maybe some Greek yogurt the next, hard-boiled egg another day. Keeps it interesting, adds variety and excitement so it doesn't become boring.
And you could even make it a mindful ritual, right? Maybe pair it with that cozy cup of tea we talked about earlier. Savor the flavors and textures instead of just wolfing it down.
Wonderful idea. That enhances the benefit. And we see the clear link between this consistent fueling and sustained fun in the real-life examples, too. A 65-year-old from California added healthy snacks, and she reported it stabilized her mood and provided the essential physical energy for fun hikes that she realized she'd been missing.
So she realized her previous fatigue wasn't just laziness, it was actually poor timing of fuel.
Exactly. Similarly, a 62-year-old in New York tried some specific nutritionist-recommended mood-boosting foods for his snack, things like berries and walnuts. He found renewed energy specifically for city outings and socializing later in the day. He discovered that just a small fuel shift had a major energetic and social outcome for him.
And in the Midwest, a 68-year-old committed to nutritious snacking and reported sustained energy and an enhanced sense of just fun in daily life. The takeaway really seems clear. If you want sustained joy and high energy levels carrying you through the afternoon, you have to fuel your engine consistently and intelligently.
You got it.
Okay, that brings us to our final and arguably maybe the most important habit. Because without this one, all the other positive habits we've built up could eventually just fizzle out. We're talking about recovery and rest. Our final habit brings us full circle back to recovery. End the day with a digital detox, specifically 1 full hour before bed. This means intentionally setting aside all the screens, phone, tablet, TV.
Yes, this one is pretty much non-negotiable for true sustainable revival. The core mechanism here is addressing the specific negative effect of that short wavelength blue light emitted by our screens.
Blue light.
Yeah. That light actively suppresses the production and release of melatonin, which is your body's essential sleep hormone. So, unplugging for a solid 60 minutes before bedtime helps calm the sympathetic nervous system, that's your fight or flight response, and leads directly to significantly improved sleep quality.
Which consequently guarantees better morning energy and happiness.
Absolutely. Quality sleep is the absolute foundation for both happiness and energy. If we aren't properly restoring ourselves overnight, every single habit we discussed today is basically just fighting an uphill battle against fatigue.
Makes total sense.
So this habit acts as a crucial buffer zone. It reduces the stress and anxiety that often comes from mindlessly scrolling through late-night news feeds or maybe getting into emotionally charged online discussions right before trying to sleep.
We've all been there.
Oh, yeah. It frees up that time, that precious 60 minutes for enjoyable non-screen hobbies. Whether that's reading a physical book, working on a jigsaw puzzle, listening to some calm music, or maybe journaling. The mental shift from passive consumption, like scrolling, to active, calm reflection is immense.
And beyond the individual physiological benefits, this habit can enhance relationships too, right? When you put the screens away, you free up time for actual face-to-face conversations with loved ones.
Definitely. Leading to deeper connection, maybe reduced shared stress if you talk things out, and just an improved mood before sleep. You're really setting yourself up for deeper rest, reducing eye strain, and ensuring you wake up with clear, fog-free mental clarity the next morning.
Okay, implementation sounds simple in theory, but requires firmness in practice. Set screens aside 60 minutes before bedtime, period.
Yep. Phone, tablet, TV off or away. Replace the scrolling with a peaceful activity. A highly recommended tactic is reading non-stressful fiction, or maybe using that time to journal about the day's positives, connecting back to the gratitude habit.
Nice synergy there.
And throughout the week, pay deliberate attention. How much more quickly do you fall asleep? How do you feel when you wake up? Tracking that progress reinforces the habit.
We definitely need motivational tactics here to make the detox feel delightful, not like some kind of deprivation punishment.
Absolutely. Create a cozy analog evening routine. Pair a specific ritual with the detox, maybe a favorite herbal tea and a good novel, or quiet music and knitting, whatever works for you.
Use tech against itself.
Yeah. Use timers or auto-off settings on your devices to physically force the disconnect if you need that nudge. And making it a buddy challenge with a partner or a family member adds mutual accountability and can make it more fun, increases the likelihood of success for both of you.
Let's look at the real-life transformation again. A 65-year-old from Washington, D.C. who implemented this digital detox reported a noticeable boost in her happiness and, crucially, energy for fun outings the very next day. Better rest immediately translated into a better capacity for enjoyment.
That's a direct link. And out in California, a 62-year-old adapted the detox concept, maybe didn't hit 60 minutes every night, but significantly reduced screen time and found significantly better sleep quality and increased joy. He shared that the practice brought back fun evenings, which he realized had previously just been spent passively staring at a screen until he was too tired to even reflect on his day.
That's powerful. And finally, A 68-year-old in Minnesota who committed to slimming her screen time before bed reported renewed energy and a greater sense of just fun in real life. It really shows that prioritizing rest is the ultimate small way to recharge your entire physical and emotional system, preparing you for whatever the next day's adventures might be. Hashtag outrack outro.
So there we have it. We've really dug into the 6 essential small ways to help revive your happiness and energy, starting the day with gratitude,
Taking that 10-minute walk outside.
connecting meaningfully with one person,
Adding a touch of daily novelty.
fueling consistently with that mid-morning snack.
And finally, achieving quality rest through the digital detox before bed.
Yeah. And the common thread woven through all of these habits, it isn't magnitude, is it? It's consistency and intention. None of these requires some major life-altering change, but they all require a conscious, intentional choice to prioritize your own well-being and your capacity for fun.
So this is your final challenge, and it is a simple one. We really encourage you to treat this as a one-week experiment. Don't feel like you have to tackle all 6 at once. That might be overwhelming.
Definitely start small.
Yeah, pick just 1 or 2 of these methods right now. Maybe gratitude feels right, or maybe the walk is easiest to start with. Just begin the journey back to happiness, energy, and fun. Track your progress, maybe just by noticing how you feel in the afternoon compared to before, and simply witness the magic unfold as these small tweaks start compounding day after day.
And this really raises an important question for you, the listener, to think about. When you do successfully clear some of that mental clutter and build up that sustained energy using these powerful small tools, what new, meaningful adventure or connection will you finally have the energy and the zest to pursue? The potential for revival is entirely in your hands.
If you found this deep dive helpful and you are ready to bring back your zest for life, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more insights.